I did about 13 million in revenue on that product within like 8 months. We actually hit up the bank and we were like, we want to take out all the cash because I want to take a picture of the million.
And nobody gives a shit if you buy a Bugatti or a Lambo at 50 years old. It's cool when you're young.
Bro, the million, gone. We had to
Whoa.
shut down after like 6 months.
You gotta sometimes spend on your success and live the life on a better stage.
Till this day, I have 800K worth of stock sitting in Las Vegas, Nevada.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. We have an insane interview, probably the most insane interview we're about to do in my total life in ecom. I'm here together with my guy, Jad Kantari. What's up, brother? How you doing?
Thank you, bro.
Yeah.
Good to see you, man.
So Jad has done over $50 million in sales, probably right now even more.
Probably more now, yeah. We're nearing 70.
Yeah, so you guys know it. When I bring a guest, it's no joke. I like to talk about ecom. I like to talk about real shit. We're not sugarcoating anything. We're going to be talking about the most insane strategies right now, 2025, how you can scale, because till this day, still, he's scaling to insane levels. And no random guru shit over here. So, Jad, brother, please introduce yourself.
Absolutely, man. Thank you for having me, guys. It's a pleasure to be here. My name is Jad. Been doing ecom for about 6 years now. Built multiple brands, sold some brands, and currently got about 7 brands, selling one, so 6 in total that I'm running with different partners. And yeah, man, just
6 brands, you said?
7 in total. We're selling in the process of selling one December 1st.
Yeah.
So it'll be 6. Usually fluctuates quickly because I'll just like launch brands very very fast.
You launch,
so
scale, and exit, right?
that's the plan. Not always. Sometimes I have brands from about 2 years ago that I'm still running.
Okay.
But the goal is always to exit when the time is right. So
Nice,
yeah.
nice. Yeah, man. So, yeah, man, obviously, between me and my brother, right, we've been in business also for 6 years. We did some numbers, been okay. But yeah, I would like to know more about your story, bro, because we've been meeting now for a couple of times here in Dubai. You know, we spent some good time together.
Yeah.
But from what you've told me, you've also been through a lot of phases in the trenches
For
where
sure.
came from trenches, you made some money, you lost it, some private stuff, and then some business stuff, and then you made some an insane comeback again. So bring me to the place, right, where it all started for you, because you're Lebanese, I know it.
Yes, sir.
So yeah, man, please go ahead.
Yeah. So grew up in Lebanon, modest family. I left to the States when I was 18. Went to LA, lived there, studied at USC, became an engineer.
Mhm.
Worked in engineering for about 3 years. Shit was slavery. It was terrible.
Yeah.
I was a 9 to 5er basically. So I would wake up at like 6, had to be at the field at 6:30 for meetings, and then would work till 4. And then slowly stumbled up. And I always knew I was gonna. The whole point why I left to the States is because I wanted to become something. I didn't want to be a slave. I didn't want to be a 9 to 5er. I wanted to own a business. I wanted to be a boss. And then, ended up working a 9 to 5. I always tried new things. I sold stuff on Craigslist. It's like a platform in the US you can buy and sell stuff. I would selling Yeezys on eBay at one point back when they were like super hot and they were dropping. That's how I got my first taste of money. I remember I sold Yeezys and I made like 14K in 10 days. I still have the screenshot, and it was the most amount of money I had seen.
With Jeezy's, 14K in one day.
Yeah, in 1 week, in about 10
Oh, 1
days.
week. Okay.
Yeah,
Crazy.
which was like insane for me. Back then, there wasn't ecom like today, right? And I remember my first taste in ecom was on Etsy. I had found out about AliExpress. My friend was like, "Yo, there's like a cheaper Amazon. Like, check it out." And then I was like, "Okay." And then I bought a ring, those like mesh rings, and I ordered one, and I was like, "This is probably a scam." It was like $1. And I order it, and then 30 days later, it shows up, and I'm like, "Whoa, this is actually real." So I was like, "What if I like put this on Etsy, and I make, I add a margin like $10." And I remember I put it on there, and within a day, I made a sale. I was like, "What the hell?" But they banned me because Etsy has to be all handmade. You can't just drop ship.
Yeah.
But I remember the lady that bought from me. I was like, "Hey, I'm sorry, I don't have the ring. This is what happened. I'm just gonna refund you." And she was like, "No, I want the ring. Can you send it to me?" And that's when like a light bulb went up in my head. I was like, "Yo, this e-commerce stuff could really work. Like, I just have to figure it out." Because before that, I had been served an ad by Ty Lopez, funny enough, and he was just like talking about
My man.
SMMA.
My man Ty.
Yeah, SMMA, who's getting sued now, but yeah, SMMA, and I was like, okay, and I tried to do SMMA. I had got his course on fucking
What
Reddit.
year? What year are we talking about now?
That was 2018.
2018.
No, dude, that was 27. No, that's 2016, 2017. I was doing
That's
SMMA, and I'm trying
very
to
early.
like get into the whole online marketing thing. But dude, the problem with SMMA is you have to, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it for dentists. I'm gonna run Facebook ads for dentists. Problem is, you have to go close the dentist, and I have a 9 to 5. So how am I gonna go talk to? It was a pain in the ass. It wouldn't work. We closed one dentist, and it was a pain in the ass. So I was like, okay, I need to sell products. The service stuff is not gonna work.
SMA sucks anyway, bro.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Skip
impossible.
that.
Yeah, impossible to fucking maneuver.
Fuck that,
So
bro.
so I ended up, bro, I ended up getting served another ad, and this time it was Ty with Adrian Morrison, and it was one of those webinars, pre-recorded webinar. And I remember this is such a vivid image in my head. I was opening the fridge. I was like after my shift. I was home in LA. I'm opening the fridge, and this guy had the webinar recorded, and he's talking, and he's like, yeah, like my e-com stores. That's Adrian Morrison talking about, like, yeah, they make 50K a month, and I was like, 50K a month? That was what I made a year, bro, as an engineer. And I worked for a very good company. Like, they built half of Vegas. Very big company. I was like, what? And at that point, dude, I was living paycheck. Like, my rent, so I would get paid like $3,200 a month, right? $3,200.
Yeah.
The first piece of my rent goes, of my check would go to the rent. So now I have to wait 2 weeks to have money to eat. Like, it was terrible, So I was on a 2 week delay always. And I was like, 50K a month. I was like, this is what I'm gonna do. This is it. And dude, I dove deep into that shit. I bought every course I could get my hands on. I was in eCommerce Elites Mastermind. The Facebook groups back in the day, like
Is it
Steve Tan,
Steve
and
Tan
Evan,
one?
yeah, and Nick Peroni's
Shit.
Empire, Ecom Empires.
Yeah.
Dude, any course I could get my hand, I got scammed by gurus. The whole thing, bro. And yeah, everybody's got to get scammed once.
You gotta get scammed once, bro.
We had it
You
as
have
well,
to.
like back then when we just started.
Yeah, dude, back then there was
Happens.
no like YouTube videos like now and all this Twitter stuff. It was just like it was like ad leaks, right? Like three Facebook groups, and that's it.
Steve had a good group though.
Steve,
I
I love,
remember.
Steve
That
had,
was
and
crazy.
Nick had a good group. Like those
okay.
guys were doing well. Yeah, dude, I was just like learn and kept growing, and then I started ecom officially in like 2017. Made my first sale. I remember it was March 2018 when I started. Made my first sale. Sorry, it was March 2017 when I first started. June is when I made my first sale. October, about a few months after, I had my first 6-figure month, and then after that, just so started doing millions, and it was
That's fast for that
Yeah.
guy.
yeah, it was
that time, it's
it was
fast.
pretty fast. And I remember what was the tipping point as well. After I had made my first 6-figure month, I got a cease and desist because I was selling like a Nintendo, that was my first winner, like the console, the retro console, and it had
I know that one. I
phone
sold it also.
Phone case, huh?
Phone case.
no, it was an actual console.
Oh, the
Yeah,
actual
it was a
console.
full-on console, like with two,
Oh.
yeah. And I was selling it, and Nintendo cease and desisted me because it had Mario Kart on it and Mario stuff, and I was like, fuck. So I had to stop that, and then I started selling this paint thing that you put paint in, like a paint roller that like puts out paint on the wall and you roll it.
The blue one.
I got yeah. Exactly, that's the one, bro. And I got a cease and desist.
I guess. Why?
From some bro. It was like some Portuguese company in Portugal, and they're like,
bro.
"This is patented," and I'm like, "What the." Dude, I was like, what? How? Anyway,
All the nostalgia products.
yeah, but I ran that shit up. I made a lot of money on that product, and then got a cease and desist, and then I was like, okay, fuck this. I'm gonna go into skincare and beauty. I pivoted over to skincare and beauty, and I had like some few months that were okay, and then I remember I went to Steve Tan and Evan Tan's mentorship. They had a mastermind for 3 days in New York. So I went and I met them, and I met a bunch of guys that were crushing it. And I just that was kind of like a mental shift for me. I saw guys that were just like me making a lot of money, and that was like, I swear, I went back and I started to just run it up with beauty. I started to sell these magnetic eyelashes and then eyebrow pens. Dude, just doing millions a month, like 2-3 M's a month, and it was because of that mastermind. It was a good value, but the most important thing was me just being like, okay, like I just met these guys and they're not smarter than me, they're not better than me in any way. We're equal, and they're crushing it, so I can do this too. And then just that mindset shift changed everything for me. It really did.
That's crazy.
And yeah, man, just the rest is history since then.
Nice.
Just kept building and sold brands and
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
all that.
So, I'm not sure if I told you before. Like my brother and I, we had in 2021 when from the moment we started 2019 till 21, we made about like 600K profit with ecom, and then we had this big lawsuit,
Yeah.
and we settled, lost all our money. We had to make a comeback, and that was like the biggest, you can say, fucked up shit we went through in ecom
For sure.
now in the last 6 years. So, um, when was it in your case, right? Because of course the beginning for everybody's hard, but then when you do make money,
Yeah.
you can
That's a great
also
question.
it's more painful to go back and
For sure.
downgrade
Dude,
than stay on the same level or upgrade. So when did you ever had something like this? Because
100%.
I'm sure you did, right?
100%.
So talk about
100%.
it, bro.
So when I started to make money with skincare, and the money comes fast with ecom. That's why it's a very quick rise and a very quick drop. I then partner up with my ex business partner, and we started to do teeth whitening. Back then, teeth whitening was just starting. High Smile and Snow and whatnot.
Yeah.
And back then, there was this product. It was like a teeth whitening pen that you just like would whiten your teeth with. And I did about 13 million in revenue on that product within like 8 months.
Whoa.
And we got cocky. We had about a million in the bank.
What year was
cash
this, bro?
liquid.
What year?
This was 2019.
Was it only
2019.
Meta?
2019.
Or
It
more?
was just Meta.
Just Meta,
Just
right?
Meta, bro.
That times it was
Yeah,
just
back
Meta.
then, dude, it was
only Meta.
cat as printer. You just fucking print.
So 13 million revenue, $1 million profit.
Profit, yes.
Okay, and after
Yeah.
tax or before taxes?
That was after everything. Not profit. That was million liquid in the bank.
Ah.
That was million sitting in the bank. We
Okay.
reached 1M, and I remember I took a screenshot. Still have the screenshot. We actually hit up the bank, and we were like, we want to take out all the cash because I want to take a picture of the million. Because back then, I swear to God, because back then I had went to Colombia, okay, to Medellin. And I went to Pablo Escobar's prison. And in his prison, he had a picture that he has taken, and it was his first million stacked up. And he like took the picture and just like had it. And he would take it with him everywhere. So I was like, yo, I want to replicate that. I want to do the same thing. My first million, I'm going to stack it up. I'm going to take a picture of it.
Bro, that's crazy.
Bro, I swear, we talked to the Bank of America back in the day. We talked to them. That's who we were banking with, and dude, they even, I think they got the max they could get us cash to like 250. We can't do more than that because you have to put it in bags and you have to have a security. It's just
No joke.
So 250 is the most we have, and we were gonna do it, but then we were like, it's not the same as a million, so it just didn't work out.
Was it US only?
It was
What you were
we were doing. Yeah, I would say top 5, top 4 back in the day. U.S., U.K., Canada, but it was mainly U.S. Yeah, like that was the biggest mover.
Bro, it was really in the movie, bro.
Yeah, and then we ended up
Living Narcos, bro. but
pretty
then
much,
ecom.
pretty much.
Then
Yeah,
ecom.
bro. Narcos of ecom, bro.
Yeah, yeah.
And then what happened?
And then, dude, then we got cocky.
Yeah.
We got stagnant. Weren't learning. We were spending a lot of money,
Lifestyle.
making very bad decisions. And we decided, okay, we want to go into subscription, and we're gonna do free trial subscription. So they just buy something for free in the beginning, and then they subscribe, and we just bill them. And dude, it was white hat. It wasn't black hat at all. But it was just, what happened was we were getting a bunch of freeloaders that would want to just take the free product and cancel, which caused so many chargebacks. We lost our mids. Bro, the million gone. We had to shut down after like 6 months, and we weren't doing one-time buys on ecom, so there was no money coming in, and we kept just losing and losing. Bro, every month we would lose like 50, 60K, just 50, because we had such a huge team in order to to keep up with the demand and the customer support. Because subscription isn't easy. And back then we were shipping from China. Dude, it was such a fucking messed up situation,
Yeah.
and lost all the money. So literally had to start from scratch. And then me and my business partner went our separate ways, and that's when I started with a different business partner. And back then I went back to zero, starting from scratch. And that's when COVID hit. COVID hits,
Good hit.
yeah, and yeah, thankfully, right? At the time, we didn't know. We were like, "Oh, we're fucked." But at the time, it was a great hit. And back then, I was seeing all this stuff about COVID and bacteria, and I was like, I need to go into something in the home niche because everybody's at home. Home is gonna take off. So I went and started to sell these detergent. I still have the brand actually, funny enough. These cleaning detergents that you put in your washing machine and it cleans all the mold and bacteria and
Ah,
stuff.
yeah.
So I was selling something related to COVID, but not directly. You know what I mean? Because masks and
Crazy.
whatnot were getting, disapproved, and you couldn't sell
Yeah,
them. Hand sanitizer, you can't do that.
Yeah, because you,
So
if
I
you
went the indirect way. I was like, okay, how can I still hit the same pain points, but in a kind of indirect product? And dude, in that product, I also ran up to like 11 mil in about 10 months in revenue. And yeah, worked on that. Had another brand. It was like a wall mending agent that that fixes holes in the walls and it wouldn't mold and stuff. And then, dude, same thing happened again. About a year and a half later, I don't know what happened, but we had a shipment stuck in the U.S. On the port, couldn't come in. It was stuck for a long time. We were doing 60K days, and that was right when iOS 14 was rolled out. iOS 14 hits. We're doing 60K days at like 20% profit. Dude, I swear to God, next day we go to shit. We go to zero. It's like we're like negative 2K, negative 3K. And we had placed an order for 800K of stock, 800K USD in stock that was stuck at the port. Couldn't come in at Long Beach port. And we're like, dude, and because we were fulfilling from the US at the time. That gets stuck. We have no cash. Again, bro, lose everything. Lose everything in the
Yeah.
bank.
But what eventually happened
Again.
with the stock?
Dude, the stock ended up getting cleared, and I kept it at, till this day, I have 800K worth of stock sitting in Las Vegas, Nevada.
Damn.
Yeah, and I never really moved it after
You
that.
pay for the
Things-
storage,
I,
right?
I, yeah, well, it was my boy, Alan, and he held it for free.
wait, so
Right.
you
He held
still
it
have
for
like 800K sitting there.
800K sitting in stock in Henderson, Nevada.
Can't you get rid of it somehow?
I could, and I kept the brands on the side on pause because I'm like, yo, I'm gonna come back to that. The problem is the AOV on these products was so low, like $20.
Yeah.
It's so hard to make work now unless I want to add a subscription. One brand would work on subscription because it's a consumption product. The other wouldn't.
Yeah.
Right, so it wouldn't work, and a lot of things changed, and I had a different partner on it, and I'd have to pay him. It was too messy, so I'm like, whatever. I just
You cannot even survive with an AOV of 20 USD.
Yeah,
these
nowadays
days.
it's
And
extremely
advertising
difficult.
US, bro.
Extremely
It's
difficult.
it's too hard.
Yeah.
But
So
you might make it work.
I could if I could nail subscription, and I tried, but it just wouldn't work. And at the time, I was making money with other things, so I had lower hanging fruit. So why go into something so hard? And yeah, dude, it's just that's how, and I had to start again, 2021.
So like I will also get back into this in this podcast about how you made the business sustainable and how you came here right now. But what type of dropshipping did you start when you had like maybe a few K or 2K in your bank account? And what type of dropshipping are you doing right now?
So back then, I did traditional drop shipping, man. You just literally fulfill from Oberlo or
China.
Dropify, yeah, just literally
Yeah.
to China, just straight AliExpress garbage. Like it was just not an ideal situation back then because I didn't have suppliers. I didn't really know anybody. I was just getting started, and dude, back then. You don't have the same e-commerce kind of environment that you had back then.
No,
Now,
it was shit, bro.
dude, it was terrible. You had
Horrible.
one or two. Again, it was Oberlo and Dropify.
And scammer gurus all the time.
Yeah, and you're
Full.
getting scammed by like the
Yeah.
same three gurus. and that's it. There wasn't much information out there. Now there's like fucking 20 fulfillment apps you can use. You have so many options. There's so much competition. Uh, Suppliers in China care. Back then, you didn't care, bro. Like, who are you? You know, what
Now
are you
you're
gonna
getting
do?
credits.
Yeah, now you get credit. Now you have all this, dude. Like, you have different
crazy.
pricing,
Yeah.
competition. Back then, it was like 3 people. That's it. You know, good luck. Like, if they even care.
Yeah.
That's why it's always so funny to hear people say dropshipping is dead.
Yeah.
No, it's more alive than ever.
For sure,
It's
it's a lot more saturated. But on the flip side, it's easier than ever.
The entry barrier is low. But
Dude.
there is a lot of competition.
100%. Man, back then, to find a developer, you had to go on Upwork, and not many people knew what Shopify was, and they would work on it. Shopify was still young. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
true.
Like, you didn't have everything you had now. And back then, you get screwed on PayPal. That's it. It's over. You know, like, you can't,
GG.
you don't have all these ways of speaking to PayPal now and all these tools that you can use. Back then, you're screwed. You didn't have any other mids you could use. It was a lot harder.
Yeah.
You had to be very resourceful in order to make it work. So that was the type of drop shipping I was doing back then. Now, with the experience I've gained, the network, it's a lot easier, man. I have my suppliers in China. I know them. I get access to the best labs, the best factories. We formulate everything from scratch. Like, I don't drop ship. All my brands are made from scratch. Like, I make everything from scratch, not just packaging, the actual product I constructed from scratch. Like, we develop devices, we develop formulas, we develop supplements from absolute scratch.
That's interesting you say
Yeah.
it because right now there's a big shift going on.
Yeah.
To, like, you've been doing this now for how long? The supplement
7.
part. Like, let's say
This?
the whole transition you made.
Yeah.
When was that? Like,
The transition,
grew.
the full transition has been 2 years, about a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, and that was facilitated by AI. Once
Yeah.
AI became mainstream, it's so much easier now to sit down and do research and really come up with a good product. Like, you have to be stupid not to be able to come up with something, or lazy to come up with something very good that you can present as a product to the market.
Yeah.
With all these tools. Again, back then, dude, there's no way. Like, you had to do research, and half the research is wrong. Now, ChatGPT tells you this is right, this is wrong, do this, do that. Done.
Yeah.
You know what I
Bro,
mean?
Manage your risk. Way
Bro, when
more.
is, like, in your opinion, the right moment to start to go from dropshipping to branding? Because I see with people I tell all the time, I was like, bro, start dropshipping, and
I still recommend that.
yeah, to start it until you make at least 6 figures, let's say in profit, and then go for branding.
100%.
What do you think?
I totally agree with you. You need about at least 100 grand in the bank.
Yeah.
In cash, liquid cash, in order for you to make that transition. Because if you take a hit, you can sustain it, and you can either move on from it or at least keep it going till you figure things out.
Yeah.
So that's my recommendation. I don't drop ship anymore. I brand immediately. I don't even test products. I'll make the product and I make it work.
Oh.
Right? Because I know what's gonna work. I look for the problem, and if the problem exists and I can tell it's gonna work, I'll just 9 times out of 10 it hits. It works. I have yet to have a brand where I had to shut down because I'm like, oh, I thought it's gonna work and it's not working. But I don't recommend people doing this because it's very hard and you need very good experience and kind of like a sixth sense intuition. And really to understand markets and AOV and the back ends and the
Experience.
numbers. Yeah.
Yep.
You have to have that whole knowledge. So if I was getting started, I would start with drop shipping. I would find an avatar and an audience that's underserved and a problem with a big TAM. And I'd either bundle a few products and, kind of position them for that avatar issue, or I would find something new as a product that hasn't been rinsed, and I'd introduce that to the market. So that's how I would do it if I were drop shipping. And then once you get that 100K in the bank, then you can start doing the branding.
So, I love it. So we share the same opinion. Even though, like, we made all our money with dropshipping, we now are building a brand, right? We're not live yet, but we're building a brand right now. And it's interesting to hear that you also believe the same, because I've seen it. I see with my older friends who've done over 8 and 9 figure brands. So you talked about AI. Everybody talks about that AI is the next crazy shit. I mean, still to this day. But how do you use it for your brands? Because most people, what I see, they talk about AI, the big guys, they don't share the actual sauce.
Yeah.
It's only like those agency guys on X will say, "Hey,
Sure.
I used AI to build my 30K a month SMMA agency
Yeah, yeah.
with 20% profit." I mean, I don't care about that shit. I
Yeah.
want to hear the real sauce. Tell me.
Yeah. For us, we use it internally a lot with deep research, understanding avatars. We use it in terms of Reddit, man, scraping Reddit, scraping TikTok, really coming up with different creative strategies. So it's heavily, AI for us is heavily focused on creatives. And that's where we're headed, right? Ecom is just a creatives game nowadays. Media buying doesn't matter. None of that. And eventually, you're not going to even have a ads manager. It's just going to insert your creative here, put budget, turn on, done. The algorithm does everything. And that's kind of what's happening right now. So
Especially with the last update.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's just this is where we're headed, and we saw that like 3 years ago because slowly you could tell they're removing this, they're removing that.
Yeah.
Eventually, it's just gonna be a plug and play.
Yep.
So for us, AI is heavily deep research, um, coming up with creatives, actually producing creatives that looks very native, and yeah, man, just deep research and creative strategy. We don't really use it for anything else right now. Obviously, anytime it could replace a human being and do that task a lot more efficiently and faster and better, then we just implement it. So it's very important to stay on top of the AI wave because it is the future. We don't really use it for anything else, to be honest with you. Like I don't really know.
Like, what tools do we use, for example, for creatives?
For
right now?
creatives, Claude. Claude is our go-to.
Scripting.
Yeah, scripting is heavily dependent on Claude. I do a lot of the research on. So the way I do it, I use GPT and Grok heavy. Okay, for deep research.
GPT and Grok
Yeah, heavy.
of X.
Yes,
Okay.
I like Grok heavy a lot.
Why?
Because I've noticed that they both give you like a 90% complete outcome. So if you combine the two and you put it in Claude, you get even better results.
Wait. So, for research, you use
So
Grok heavy
And
Say again?
GPT
and GPT, and then you put it into
side by
Claude.
side, and I feed that into Claude. Yeah, and I come up with the script there. Yeah.
So
The
you say
deep
to-
research is always done. Like, say I'm coming up with the formula. I always come up with the formula on GPT for a product, and then a formula on Grok, and I compare the two.
like
And
ingredients of the product.
yeah, and then I'll take it to Claude, and I'll have it decide which one is better. Like I'll really make AI work against each other.
Interesting.
Yeah,
That's crazy. Interesting.
and then I grab what's similar because now your chances of being wrong are a lot. The probability of being wrong is a lot lower. So,
Interesting.
You've been talking a lot about the formulas you're bringing together in
Yeah.
your products.
yeah.
Would you say that's the biggest difference how you're making your brands work on ads, organic, Amazon, etc., or really your creative strategy, the way you approach the market?
Both equally. You need both equally. One won't work without the other, and if it does, it's short lived. It will die eventually. So if you have those two pillars, where the product is unique enough, it's gonna make your marketing a lot easier, and it just kind of like it's a feedback loop.
Yeah.
The product feeds the marketing feeds the product. Because the product is good, the marketing starts just getting easier and easier. So I always try to differentiate myself because I don't want to compete with people.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want someone to come just compete with me tomorrow, right? I want to make it as hard as possible for people to compete with me, and that's what I tend to do, and that's why it's easier for me to scale. It's a lot more consistent, and I can absorb having to sink 50K, 100K into a brand to make it work, which I don't really, but I'm willing to go that far.
Yeah. So you're literally bringing the product completely together in US. You skip China actually.
No. I build it in China.
You build it
I
in China,
formulate
alright.
it, do it all in China. If we have the opportunity to do it in the US at a competitive rate, then I'll do that. I'm not against the US, but wherever it makes more business sense.
Yeah, because I've heard a lot of stories like people they either bring the product together in China, ship it to US, stock it there, ship from there to
We do that too, because we do Amazon and TikTok Shop. So you have to fulfill from the US. And now with subscription, it's
Yeah.
actually a lot better for, consumer cycles to actually.
Yeah, we've also heard stories. People come with a formula. They work together with a US fulfillment
Yep.
that's specialized in supplements.
Yes.
You bring the ingredients to the supplier
Yeah.
in US. They bring the product together, private label it, custom package, etc., etc. and ship it from there.
Absolutely. I mean,
Which one
all
would
raw
you
material.
advise? Because I think this is a
If the pricing makes sense, I love that. I think it's very good. You just
yeah.
got to look at your margins. You got to look at what type of product it is. Any health issues, who's gonna do it better. There's a lot of good facilities in China. Like China's hated on, but dude, everything is made in China.
It's
Bro,
that's what I want to say.
China's the
It's
shit,
yeah,
bro.
China is amazing,
Yeah.
right? And all that again, you just said it. All the raw material comes from China,
Still
right?
true.
All of that, all these big brands, designer brands, when they say made in, it's actually made in China. And
Yeah.
it's the last thing. There's laws where that Dior thing that came out recently, where like the last thing is assembled. It's like they do that like last.
Made in Italy.
Yeah, because it's assembled and it's assembled by Chinese people in Italy that are getting paid penny. You know what I mean? So it's all coming from China.
Same from
It's,
designer
it is.
brands.
Yeah, it is
But-
what it is, right? It's just
Like, which one would you advise? Like you just said, like it's a margin thing. I've recently had a call with two suppliers from US that said, hey, we can bring up the formulas together for you here. You only tell us the ingredients. We get them from China. Pull these together. To start off, like the reason I'm asking is there's a big hype going on for like supplements, skins.
Yeah, there's a
100%.
big hype for supplements right
People
now.
are
100%.
yeah, people are really tapping into that
Health.
on in that market, but they're not sure about hey, how should I organize a supply chain? Because they're not only doing that immediately for Meta, but they want to step into multi-channel and
100%.
take Amazon, etc., etc.
100%.
But you need US for that.
yes.
Which supply chain structure would you advise? Hey, to take that.
What's
one?
what's the price difference between the two? Depends.
I can tell you for ours, I saw a substantial big price difference on the one piece, but on the 1+1 piece, I saw it gets more equal
Okay.
with US. But on the one piece, there's like a price difference, including shipment, if you put them both together, of $6 per bottle.
Oof.
That's very
That's-
high.
that's
yeah,
high.
yeah, yeah,
60?
Six.
Six.
No, six.
Oh, that's too much.
yeah.
that's
But
high.
if you look at if you're gonna sell, you see most people doing one buy one get one, the BOGO deals. If you do that, the price difference goes to $4 USD.
The shipping is just
Which
high.
gets a bit more interesting because you have the sourcing, shipment, everything from US, and if you have it US based fully, you're eventually gonna have a better product quality and customer experience eventually.
If I were to choose, I would do both. I would do a hybrid, and I would test them against each other.
Mm.
That's the best way to do it.
I like that.
And then
Hybrid.
you just look at the numbers and you look at the feedback and you look, because shipping in the U.S. isn't that fast, by the way. It's Amazon is 2
Yeah,
days.
that's-
Usually it's about 4 to 5 days on average, 3 to 5, right, on average. China right now we're shipping 8 days on average. So you're only really buying about 3 to 4 days. Is that worth $6? Not really. But at the same time, you have to ship in bulk to the U.S. because if you want to do Amazon, which you have to go multi-channel, you have to for survival purposes nowadays in today's
Yeah.
climate. So I would do both. I would do both, and I'd take a hit on the margin for the U.S., but I'd assess how customer feedback. Is it affecting subscription cycles in a positive way? Is it making a difference? Is churn less? So on and so forth. And then I would just decide based on that. Because nobody can answer that question. No, nobody. And if they're answering that question, it's probably based on their numbers, which wouldn't apply to you. So
It's interesting. You talked about hybrid dropshipping. You know who's the first guy to ever, who I saw talk about it online?
who?
Steve Ten.
Oh yeah.
You remember it?
Steve is a very smart guy.
Yeah,
Very
so
smart guy.
I remember 2017 actually, or no, I'm sorry. I said he talked about it. I think in 2019 or 20. It was either him or Evan, his brother, and they talked about it. And they said like, hey, because you remember the screenshot they did like 300K in a day.
Yeah. That was one of the first times you'd see that. Yeah.
You're like, who
It's
are
crazy.
these
Back in
guys?
the day,
It's
that was
always
impressive.
the Asians, bro. And then I was like, bro, who are these guys? And then I looked them up, and you see how they're drop shipping. And we implemented a lot. Even some basics of their systems is still shit that is still
For sure.
that
works.
still we do. And hybrid was the first thing they talked about. But now, of course, like he's a lot right now, like in public because of all the shit with Luke Ballmer right
Yeah.
now. What is your take on this situation? What do you think of that? About like what happened there? What's your take on it?
I've met Luke about 6 or 7 years ago in LA through Steve. And I met Steve when I was in New York.
Yeah.
They were always very welcoming him and Evan were very welcoming in their group, and they would help a lot. So yeah, got to know them through the group, and then went to the mastermind, and we became friends. And I met Luke, and I've hung out with Luke on a couple occasions. Never really dabbled in that kind of side of things, so I didn't really know what was going on. I think Steven is a great guy. He's, again, one of my good friends. So is Evan. We kept in touch over the years.
Mm-hmm.
I just think it's unfortunate what happened between
Yeah.
them. Regardless of who the people are, if there's a lawsuit, then this actually happened, and it's unfortunate that Luke would do that.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah.
it's just, you shouldn't do that to your business partners. You should. Karma's real. God is real. You're gonna get screwed.
Yeah.
And there's all this dirt that's coming out right now. I tend to stay away from all the drama because I don't enjoy talking about other men.
No.
That's something feminine.
Mm-hmm.
So I just hope they're able to
Fix it. Yeah, man.
fix it.
Same.
If you fucked up as a human being, you should step up and be a man,
Yeah.
and take accountability.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, you shouldn't do that to your business
Yeah,
partners.
man. Our
That's
Capital Club was crazy, man.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
like I know both of them as well. I met Luke multiple times. I even saw Luke last week as well here in Dubai Mall. Steve Tan had multiple calls with him. Great guy, always helped me a lot, and they really put me also in the map of ecom. When they had Capital Club and Luke proposed me to Steve, he said, "Yo, he can be like in Capital Club an expert." The whole experience was very good, bro. And bro, Capital Club was gonna go to insane
Yeah,
levels
yeah.
if it wasn't for this beef.
100%.
And
100%.
I know as well the stories. I've seen everything as well from the inside. I know a lot of stuff about it, bro. No, and the thing I can really say about it, bro, is that um, I respect both of them a lot, and I think it's both very unfortunate what happened. Even though a lot of people sent out a lot of hate for Luke right now, he's still the guy who gave me an opportunity, and I really respect that. And Steve also helped me a lot, gave me great advice on a lot of stuff I asked him about. But I think honestly, in this situation, this is my opinion. I think Luke is wrong.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's
I mean,
that's how
clear.
I see it.
That's
That
clear.
still doesn't mean that I hate him or whatever it may be. Like I never spoke about this situation too much with him, but it's just my opinion about it. Um, because bro, the game is so long, man.
Yeah,
Like
it's a marathon.
we're all of
for
us
sure.
we're playing this game in decades. And maybe there's something I'm not seeing in here, but this game is not for 1, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8 years. It's decades, bro. What you're gonna do today, everybody will remember forever.
100%. Dude,
Yeah.
what's the saying? It takes you 10 years to build a reputation and 10 minutes to destroy it, or something.
Yeah.
Dude, it's
Sucks,
you
bro.
know, you just can't do
You've
people
had
dirty. You
you've
just
had
can't.
like a lot of business partners in the past, right? So, and how many do you have right now? Because you have 7 brands, you said.
So I have seven brands. I have 4 different operator partners. So it would be groups of partners. Usually I partner up with 2
Yeah.
guys, so it's 3 of us
Yeah.
on each set of brands.
Yeah.
Whether it's 1 or 2 brands. So I have 4 different sets. Each
Mhm.
handle, so two, 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 and then one brand.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So how many partners is that?
Uh, what's the math on that? 9.
Sick.
Yeah.
9, very
9
interesting.
different
So
brands.
so
But
how do you
these
operate it?
So these guys are. So here's what happened, right? Back after I lost all the money from the COVID situation, blah blah blah, when the stock got stuck in the port, I had a Discord community that I had built, right? And in that Discord community, I had posted for an internship position. I was like, "Yo, I need interns. I needed media buyers at the time, so I want 2 guys." I just posted, and then I had spoken to 2 guys that stood out. Got a bunch of applications. 2 guys were very good. So I was like, okay, and they were just getting started in ecom, right? They had joined the Discord to learn. They started as media buyers for me. They would get paid like 1,500 a month, nothing,
Yeah.
1,500 just media buying, and they started to learn. And then at the time, me and my business partner were kind of separating very amicably. He wanted to go into brick and mortar and work for his dad.
Yeah.
He had a store, and I wanted to just continue into ecom, and
Yeah.
he didn't want to do ecom anymore. So at the time, me and those 2 guys that were interning for me, we were like, hey, I had a product, and I'm like, I know this product is gonna work. Let's make it work. you guys down to partner up on this? I'll tell you what to do. I already know how to make this work. We become partners, even though you guys are interns. But let's become partners. I'll teach you everything. You build the store. You build this. You build that, and let's build it. And it happened naturally, man. We built it, and now this brand has generated about 21 million since we started, and that was 2 years ago. Yeah,
Crazy.
and these guys, they're young. Their life changed. One of them was gonna go to university, become a mechanical engineer. Very smart guys. Another guy was working in New York at a hedge fund on Wall Street, and now, dude, they're fucking balling. Their life changed. So we built a brand, built another brand, and built a third brand together over the course of the past 2 years. I sold one brand in the kids niche. I'm currently selling one brand in the fashion niche. That's the one that's going to sell December. And we have one main brand together, and we are also started two more brands, and those have been scaling like crazy as well.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, how can I scale this? How can I multiply this? So I was like, okay, because I had more products in my head that I wanted to launch. I know these brands would work, but we were just too overwhelmed. We were slammed with the current products, with the current brands, and I don't want to spread the team too thin. So I was like, okay, I can take these ideas that I have, these products that I know for a fact will work, and do it with other people that I trust. The beauty about me running a mentorship, so between all this mess, I had ran a mentorship for about a year and a half, kind of the guru lifestyle. And I had about 150 mentees come through my mentorship. And out of those 150, there's about 10 that I was like, okay, these guys are going to become something.
Yep.
They're going to do some great stuff. And I became friends naturally with these people, over the years.
Yeah.
And I approached these guys because we would keep in touch. They had their brands, and I'm like, hey guys, I have these products I want to launch. Let's, partner up on this. 33, 33, 33. I lead this because I know how to do this. I've done it many times. You guys operate. I operate within the business as well. I'm in the trenches every day on all these brands, by the way. And we scale. And then boom, it worked. And then tried and did it again with a different set of partners, and then did it again. So yeah, anytime I see people that are hungry, that I can trust, that I know have what it takes to build something with me long term, I present this. I'll come with the product. I'll say, let's do this together, and then we scale. But it has to be people that I know I can trust. Yeah. So now I'll just work with this set of people that I know are trustworthy, and we're able to scale together and build something long term. And there's no ego. That's the most important thing, I think, in partnerships. And I think maybe that goes back to the whole Steve and Luke. When you have ego and people just butt heads for no reason, now you're no longer focused on the money, and it becomes emotional. It becomes an emotional situation. That's when the devil kind of comes in, and you start screwing each other, and it's connected to a lot of things, right? You have to have the right values not to even go down that route, whatever. But as long as everything is set clearly from the beginning, and this is the hierarchy, this is who's gonna do what, this person is the CFO. I always try to put people in the positions where they shine the best. I always want someone who handles is the CFO, handles internal stuff, back end, whatnot, operations. And then you have the marketing person, the person who's intuitive, who's good with consumer psychology, good with creatives. He's creative. And then you have someone who kind of leads and makes the decisions and says, okay, we're at this road stop. What do we do? How do we get over it? Have we been there? Can you find the people with the right results or whatever that could help us, the tools? Someone that has the network, and that's typically me, right? And yeah, man, once you have that kind of combination of players, you're able to scale and do some amazing things.
That's interesting, bro. So I want to talk about you more as well. About, for example, I mean, bro, you are ripped, rich, and rare, bro.
Whoa,
So
I'm gonna use that. That's
bro,
amazing.
bro. I told my brother when we wanted to buy our Euros, right? I told my brother, like, we wanted to lease the car at first because we like to deploy as much as we can in terms of cash into our investments, and then keep only liquid money we can use for business. And that's how we run. Like we're a big fan of passive income. So and we wanted to lease it. Some bank issues here in UAE, we couldn't make it, so we had to buy it cash. My brother was like, "Should we do it? Is it worth our money?" And then I watched this video. Shout out to Ty Lopez. And
Yo,
he comes
he
to
comes he comes back one
He
way or
knows,
another. This
bro.
dude just comes back one way or
This
another.
Whatever
motherfucker,
happens, bro.
this motherfucker, bro. I was
He's
in a
gonna be waiting.
mastermind in Dubai, bro, and in January 24, and he was like, he's talking on stage, from like there was all these speakers, and then nobody's there, and out of nowhere he appears, like, whoa, where'd he come from? Like magic trick, bro. And he talks, about psychology of women, how he is, and then he says like, you don't want to buy a Lambo when you're 50 years old. Why? Like you step into it, your back is hurting,
Yeah,
and nobody gives a shit if you buy a Bugatti or a Lambo at 50 years old.
100%.
It's cool when you're young,
Yeah.
So, and I told my brother that, and he was like, and then we were like, oh, can we do it? Because the first thing we did when we made money was retire our parents. We made some investments, and then we were like, all right, now it's time to flex,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So that's when we bought it, and the car is a lot of fun.
Beautiful.
It's fun, And
Beautiful.
also you bought an insane Lambo. Congrats, by the way.
Thank you, bro.
So, what is your view on this type of stuff, and when did you start like balling out
Yeah.
or like buying nice things? And you bought a new watch, by the way.
Yeah.
Second
RM.
RM.
Yep. Second RM.
Bro.
Yeah.
You gotta
Bro,
stop playing, bro.
67.
Playing on a
702.
different level.
You gotta stop playing around, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro.
man.
Please go ahead, bro. Tell me.
I think it's very important to reward yourself. I think
Yeah.
it's very important, and however that is, whether it's the experiences, whether it's things you'd like to buy, just make sure I love cars, and I know you like cars. So you buy the car because you enjoy it. I like watches, so I buy those. I don't like designer, so I don't really buy designer. Right? I'll wear it if it looks good on me.
Yeah.
But I don't really go
No
after
flash
it
shit, I've
because
seen it, yeah.
because for me it's just I don't really care for it. Right?
Yeah.
So I think as long as you're rewarding yourself responsibly and you're doing it not to flex, but just to be, we do this because we want to live a good life. You want to enjoy this life, right? That's why we do it. So the goal is to enjoy the life. And if you're not enjoying it, then what the hell are you doing this for anyway? As long as you're doing it responsibly, I'm all for it. Anytime I was at a crossroad and I was like, should I do this? Is it a good financial decision? Should I buy this thing or not? Every time I went for it, it was the best decision ever. I remember when I was in LA and I was paying about $1,500 for rent. No, sorry, it was like $3,200 for rent, or $3,500, $3,500 a month for rent, and I was living in this downtown LA skyscraper, and dude, I was like, should I move to the hills? I don't know, it's gonna be expensive. Like, can I pay $6K for a penthouse in the hills? Like, dude, best decision ever. I made so much more money because I was in such better mental space. I was happy. I was producing. I was so much motivated. Do you ever like go out and you see all the stupid whips and you're like, bro, you go back home and you're fucking crushing it. You know, because you're like,
bro.
yo, I want that.
Yeah,
Like
bro.
I see people balling out, and I swear to God, I don't have a single piece of jealousy inside of me. I'm like, I want that.
Bro.
It's like this is motivation, bro.
Bro,
Fuck yeah, I'm gonna get a Bugatti. Like I want that. I enjoy it. You know what I mean? I'm not like hating. Because if you hate, then you think you can't get it. I think I can get it, so I'm gonna do it. And I go back and I work 10 times harder. And you have to put yourself in these situations. For example, right when I bought the Lambo in May, I ended up flying to Japan. Like bought it same night, went to Japan. Bro, I was supposed to be out in Japan for 10 days. Ended up staying for 3.5 weeks. And I stayed at the nicest hotels, like Bulgari, Amman. At the Amman, Kanye West, I had a suite. Kanye West's suite was right next door. Like mine was 415, he was 416, 417. He had two, because one for him, one for his kids. And for me to be on the same floor, like next door to this guy, it was insane because, I'm not dick riding. I appreciate Kanye and I think he's a great
genius.
artist. But yeah,
Yeah.
but to be able to like live a life that allows me to be around people like that and enjoy it and enjoy the same things he's enjoying. It's just pure motivation for me. You know,
Yeah.
it should be pure motivation for anyone else, and it's a great investment, right? Just don't do things that aren't for you and for other people. That's when it's a negative ROI. Do it because you want it, because you enjoy it, and if so, it's very fully justified in my opinion.
You know, I had this. We were in China, my brother and I, like visiting our suppliers, and then like I met a guy. His name is DK, and he put it awesome. He said, "Farouk, I don't want it. I need it."
Yeah,
That's what he
yeah,
said. I was like, "Bro, that's the one.
yeah, man.
I don't want it. I need it."
You get one
It
life.
says it's something in your side.
Hundred
Inside it
percent.
says like, "Bro, you know it." I
It's like
agree.
I move with the mentality that I deserve it. I deserve it. Like I'm gonna get it, man. Like one way or another, because there's no other thing I would want to do in this life than just build my empire and build my legacy and give this life to our loved ones. Because once you attain this life, your mom starts to live that life. Your wife, your girlfriend, your children, everybody around you lives that life with you. So that brings us fulfillment, right? And attaining these things and putting those people in these situations and giving them these experiences is what we work for as men.
Hmm.
So I once you start working with the mentality that I deserve this life, just like this person that just pulled up in this Cullinan and hopped out has this Cullinan, I'm gonna deserve this Cullinan. I'm gonna get it, right?
Yep.
So
Yeah. Facts. Yeah, man. I agree, bro. It's really like that. So, what is it like in your opinion? Like, how do you see all this motivational stuff? Like cars, watches. You're
Yeah,
less into it than me, I noticed. But
I was the one holding Faruk back of buying the supercar. He was pushing all the time. Let's buy it. Let's buy it. I was like, no, no, no. Let's buy this. Like investing again, do something, because our mentor is very into real estate. So always put money there. So we follow that idea. But I regret holding him back on buying the euros because when we got the euros, bro, we felt the
yeah,
power,
bro.
the
it's fun.
motivation, the feeling,
Yeah,
the pressure, even also the
the
pressure. Like,
pressure,
hey,
100%.
I need to go for a better car.
Yeah. Yes.
Next step.
Yes.
What's gonna be the next step?
Yes.
Because you
Yes.
feel the power of the engine in the car. You feel the vibe. You feel the
Bro, it
vibe
gives
you're
you a fire.
driving in. It gives you fire to push yourself even more. But I still think you said it very great. You said a responsible spending. Like
Yes.
you gotta
100%.
know how far you can go.
Of course. And by the
And
way, it's very important to also buy the right cars. If you go buy a car that just depreciates and goes to shit, then
yeah,
that's on you. You can buy cars nowadays, especially with the whole 2030 hybrid situation where they're
Yeah.
not going to produce gas. Bro, a lot of these cars, the Lambos, the special edition stuff,
hmm
will go up in price. So there are a lot of models that you can car hack basically. You
yeah,
can park your money in, drive it, enjoy it, sell it for barely any losses, like 5K, or at break even, or even make money on some of the
yeah,
Ferraris, some of the Lambos, some of the whatever, right? So as long as you're also doing your research and buying the right cars, it's not really it's somewhat of an investment, right? You just got to be careful.
yeah.
Yeah.
Also, but I think the biggest pleasure, like you gotta feel the success. Like
100%.
you gotta sometimes spend on
Oh yeah.
your success and live the life on a better stage.
Yeah.
Actually,
Yeah, yeah.
Why not, bro? Why not? So, you you said the word mentor. Do you have any mentors?
I currently don't have any direct mentors. I do have a lot of friends that are ahead of me in certain areas in life or all areas, and I always pick their brain. I'm a very I ask a lot of questions. Like if I sit across someone, I'm either very interested in the conversation and I'm asking you a million questions because I'm like, yo, like this is crazy. Like I'm sitting across this person and they're so full of knowledge. Like I want to
Mm-hmm.
pick their brain to the maximum level, or I'm just like completely uninterested because I'm like, dude, like you can't really help me. But I think mentors are in every shape or form, right? And by help me, I don't mean like I only like use people for information. I mean like there's an exchange of value and it's actually interesting conversation, right? And dude, I meet up with a lot of people that are crushing it in our field and other business fields, and it's very inspiring. And I think mentorship comes in all shapes and forms. I have guys that are younger than me crushing it and like creatives, and I'll sit there and I like ask and we exchange value. Technically, that's a mentor, right?
Yep. Yep.
And older guys that are way ahead of me, and I'll just sit there and I'll ask about this or that, different areas in life. So I don't have a specific person, but anytime I find someone who has very interesting takes and could teach me something, I'll try to, take as much as possible.
Bro, I always say this, bro, like in terms of mentorship, is that I would always try to avoid paying somebody to get a mentorship.
Yeah, you don't need to.
But if you're in the beginning and you know nobody, and let's say you know a little bit of ecom, and you can, like, the only thing a mentorship actually like does usually is fast track your success.
100%.
Because I believe everybody who makes it with mentorship, they could also do it on themselves,
For sure.
you know, but it just helps a lot, and you build a great network. Because I see it for me, like we really started restructuring our ecom business in a lot of ways, started doing a lot of new stuff, and you can look online. YouTube is full of bullshit usually,
100%.
and then you go on X or whatever it may be, IG short form. Everybody is like pushing a certain kind of information with a certain agenda behind it. So where can you really get information from your network?
100%.
So I talk to my boys, I talk to my guys, or maybe even now, like after this conversation, we're also gonna talk about some stuff. So that is what I like to do. And every single person I've spoken to, even also somebody like you all said it, like, bro, you start with a network, and then later you find your own group of people.
100%.
So let's say you have $3,000 in your bank account. It's 2025. You have no connections, no friends, but you need to make it in ecom. You have only 3K,
Yeah.
so you can't even join a mentorship at this point, right? So, but you have to do it on your own. How would you go to your first 100K revenue in a month?
If I knew nothing about ecom, I'd sit between Twitter and YouTube and do the deepest research to find someone legit that can actually take what they're saying and apply. Like, I know for a fact this person is making money.
And
This
how do you
person,
qualify that? How do you know it?
profit and loss. If they're showing you P&L, if they're showing you net profit straight up, not
Yeah.
just revenue shots, net profit, and they're talking, and you can just read what they're saying. If what they're saying makes sense and it's actually logical, and you can ask people. It's not that hard, right? You can just ask, hey, what's up with that guy?
Leave a
Have you heard it?
comment.
Yeah, you can comment.
Yeah.
People will tell you. People
Yeah.
have no problem. Like, and you'll see in the comments, like, people just immediately attack the scammers and whatever.
Yeah.
I would find that one person, and there's a lot of qualified guys, find that person and learn from them as much as possible. Consume all their free stuff. Start applying that. And then branch out from there. See who they follow, who they interact with, who they hang out with. Look into them and try to consume. Get 3 to 4 people that you really trust in the space, that you're able to kind of circle between and really, really consume their information fully.
Yep.
And then start applying that and slowly build your cash. Take that cash and get a mentorship with one of those people that you are like, okay, I really fuck with this guy because X, Y, and Z that he said worked, and I want to know everything. And I always say this. The business, it's like you're going from point A to point B. You're the driver, the business is the car, and the mentor is the GPS. They're going to take you the mentor is going to take you from point A to point B most efficiently, the fastest and best way ever, most efficient way ever, right? That's why you pay the money.
Yep.
You can figure it out. Like, you can hop in the car right now and try to make it downtown without a GPS. It's going to take a long time. You're going to go fucking different places. You're going to make wrong turns and go to a dead end and go back. Or you can just turn on the GPS and get from A to B within the fastest time.
That's a great explanation.
So that's how I position it. You just got to find the right GPS. There's a lot of wrong GPSs. Just find that right GPS and it's easy. And you can tell nowadays, man, with the internet and people getting exposed and all these different YouTube channels and whatnot, you can easily tell who knows their shit and who doesn't.
Yeah.
And just follow them, and then get a mentorship, and then start slowly bringing value. you said something that when you sit down with people, it's a value exchange, right? Even if you don't have money, if you bring value to someone and be
Yep.
like, yo, I let me do this for you for free. I did this for you for free. I just want to ask one question. And then they see that, yo, this person went and brought value. They're not just asking stuff for free. I'm going to help them, and they'll help you a bit, and they'll help you more and more and more. And that's kind of us, right? When we sit down and network with different people, it's an exchange of value. I help them with one thing, they help me with one thing. I help them with five, they help me with three, and boom, the relationship just grows, and you build a network of solid individuals that you can depend on, and you can help each other, and you grow together, you build together. So,
Interesting. Yeah, man. That's a great explanation. I never thought about the GPS one.
That's a very good one.
Yeah.
Because that's actually the fact. Like
That's
you
it.
can drive the car, you have the GPS on, you can crash the car, which is normal.
exactly.
Because
But your GPS is still on, and you know where to drive when you
Exactly.
got the car fixed. And that's also business. You can crash, you can drive, it can get fixed,
yeah.
you drive again. That's the road everyone needs to go through.
So, what niche would you go into, and what type of products would you sell then?
I would go into health, skincare, beauty. Those are the ones I focus on
From the
Okay.
beginning,
from the beginning. Fashion is good. I recommend fashion because it's such a massive TAM that you can make it work.
It's easier to be honest.
Yeah. The annoying thing about fashion is
The back end.
scalability,
Yeah.
back end, and net profit tends to kind of suffer a bit
Yep.
because of returns,
Mhm.
and which is normal. That's
Yeah.
just how the business operates. Those are the four things I would focus on. Yes, off the bat, I think you can do very good numbers with any of those.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So,
I think fashion being the easiest, by the way.
yeah.
for the first front
For the
ends,
first,
yeah,
I think it's the easiest.
It's easier,
Yeah.
especially
Yeah.
in the beginning. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I that's why I always say that, bro. You know, this is just what I've seen. There's so many niches that work, but for us, it's just fashion.
Yeah.
But so, let me ask you, right? So we were talking about. I mean, I always talk about health, wealth, love, happiness, and status.
Yeah.
Status is the fifth one I added. You know?
Yeah.
Because I learned health, wealth, love, happiness by Navarro Aficante. You know him?
Yeah, of course. Of
Bro,
course.
yeah, love the guy.
I follow him
So
on Twitter, yeah.
yeah, great guy. So and I added status also into it. So I think so what I want to ask you is that you make all this money, you go through life, but then how's, for example, your daily routine? How do you make sure, even though when you make all this money, you still stay on track, you still stay true to yourself, and um, and I ask this because I've seen that for a lot of people, they when they make some money and they lose it, it's because they
Lost track.
stopped doing what they
Yeah.
used to do, what brought them there.
Yeah,
So I want to ask you, so like, how's your daily routine and how do you navigate through all of this?
100%. So going back to the five things, for me, I'd replace status with legacy, because I think status is relevant to other people, how
Yeah.
people perceive me. I honestly don't care how people perceive me at all. Like I just don't.
Yep.
I want to build a legacy because I want my name to be remembered, and I want to I want to leave a print. That's what I want to do.
Yeah.
So that's why legacy for me is important. Like legacy is the only way you can beat death. The only way you can become immortal is by keeping your name. Your name is the only thing that could remain. Your body goes, your soul goes, but the name is what remains, and
Yep.
that's legacy, right? That's
True.
the only way you can somewhat game death, right? And that's, I think, what every man who's in our position, who's building something, is trying to achieve ultimately. Like that's the biggest goal. In terms of daily routines and what I'd like to do, man, once you go through the cycle of losing money and taking, the getting slapped and just getting up again and getting your teeth knocked out and then starting again, you'll start to realize what's important and what's not, and what you need to kind of keep in your life and what you can replace and get rid of. I think every guy has to go through the whole partying phase and get it out of his system and, go around and do that stuff. And then once you're in a place where you're like, okay, I'm focused, then it's easy. You avoid the drinking, you avoid the things that just slow you down. And then for me, it's just I focus on my health, on working out. I try to make it to the gym 4 to 5 times a week, and eat healthy. I don't eat junk. I don't eat. I mean, here and there, randomly, but I genuinely generally don't eat any junk food. And yeah, man, just focus on work. I work a lot. If I'm not in the gym, sleeping or eating, I'm working usually.
So what
And
time do you wake up? You have like a 4
I
a.m.
don't
routine?
really have a set like routine. I
Cold
wake
plunge.
up. Yeah,
Cold plunge.
no cold no cold plunge, no none of that, man. I wake up like anywhere between. Lately, I've been waking up late because of I'm jet lagged from all the traveling. But usually, I'd like to wake up anywhere between 7, 8. I just eat, drink coffee, get to work immediately, work till about 3, 4, take a break, go to the gym for an hour, come back, work till about 7, 8, go have dinner,
Yeah.
link up with the boys, kick it, chill, maybe play some paddle, do something, some exercise, play soccer, whatever, or football, and then go to sleep and do it again. Weekends, I try to take 1 day a week off at least, sometimes two, on the weekends. I'll still get some work done, maybe in the morning, but I'll go to the beach. I'll enjoy some outdoorsy stuff. I'm very active. I like to go like ATV and buggies and go on rides and drive cars. You know, I enjoy I enjoy doing like
Mm-hmm.
activity stuff.
Yeah.
Go to the arcade, whatever is like fun. And I'm down to do jet ski,
Arcade.
go yacht. Yeah,
Good one.
like yeah, like an adult arcade. Like I like to do fun stuff. I don't really party anymore, so I don't really
There
care
is
for
no
that.
quiet routine, bro.
Yeah,
I always wake up like this. Weekends I wake up like this.
Exactly.
It really depends. Like, where are you at the moment
100%.
in business?
100%.
Like, if you're in a crap situation, like
Yeah.
when you're going down,
Dude.
bro, you're not gonna go to the arcade.
fuck no. You don't have time
know?
to party. You don't have time to even do
Yeah.
anything.
So it really depends where you are at
Yeah.
in business. Like, I game. I prefer to game.
Yeah.
That's my zone. In the group calls, they tell me, "Hey, Fatih, how do you game in this business situation?"
Yeah.
Bro, I wasn't gaming in the beginning.
Yeah.
You
Of
know?
course.
It's all up to how is your current situation in business. Same as happiness, like it's moments. All
100%.
about moments.
100%. As long as you've organized that schedule or the things you like to do, and
Yeah.
you're doing it in a very balanced way, and it's not really taking over work or affecting your life negatively, then, dude, that's the best way to live life. There's no set routine of
Routine, yeah.
waking up at this time, going to sleep at this time. You obviously want to respect circadian rhythms, like you want to go to bed when it's dark and wake up. You know, you don't want to sleep till 1 p.m. It's gonna fuck up your circadian rhythm. It's just what it is. But aside from that, as long as you're doing it in a natural way, dude, doesn't matter what you do.
So would you say that legacy is the reason why you can keep going for hours and hours a day, like a fucking autistic nerd behind your laptop for hours every single day?
100%. I
Yeah,
think
right.
legacy, and I think fulfillment from providing my mother and my loved ones with the life that they never had. I think those are the two things, and my future woman or any woman that's in my life.
Yeah.
That's what drives me at this point. Yeah,
Do you think you need to be as well a bit of? I've noticed you need to be a little bit autistic,
pretty much.
like us, to be
Crazy,
for
but
hours
yeah,
behind
yeah,
the laptop.
for sure.
You cannot be normal
Yeah,
and
yeah,
do
you
this,
can't.
right?
You have to have some craziness in you for sure, because non-crazy people give up typically, and they get bored, and they just they need to be entertained. We
Yeah.
are entertained by these things that are just kind of autistic.
Mm-hmm.
So 100%.
It's true. Yeah. Like if you look at the billionaires, like you see sometimes a day in the life, like billionaires, some of them record them. Bro, you see their days, they're walking around like zombies sometimes.
Yeah.
Bro, the mind
You
is
have to be.
constantly working.
You have to be.
Like it's actually unhuman, but it's happening, bro. That's the piece of sacrifice people always forget.
Something weird always. You
Yeah,
know? Like
my wife even tells me sometimes. She says like, sometimes I call your name, you're looking at a very weird face at me, saying nothing, and then working again.
Yeah.
Bro, that's the autistic.
because
part.
you're in the zone.
You're in it. You're just in the
Yeah.
And you're
process.
born with that.
yeah.
You're born with it.
Yeah.
You can't gain it. You can't build it. I think
No, true.
it's internal. It's just from a young age you're just like that, and you're just zoned in, focused, and you want it. Like it's like this. You think about it constantly. Like I think about work and like how do I fix this issue when I'm like in the shower. You know what I mean? Like I'm thinking about like, okay, how am I gonna like position this product because of this and this happened, and how am I gonna get to this number? And I just like think and think and think. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Your mind is always running, and not everybody's like that. Like I have business partners that aren't like that. They're kind of not like that, which is fine. You need different people to operate different sides of the business, But the big dog, the person who's like the leader, the person who's gonna just really drive this to infinity and beyond, they need to be like that.
True,
They have
interesting.
they have to have that crazy obsession, that crazy side.
Yeah,
You have to.
yeah,
That's why
absolutely.
we deserve it all. I'm telling you.
Yeah,
Like the people that are not on our level, bro, they don't know and feel the sacrifice.
hundred
Like
percent.
if they ever felt the pain, the autistic part,
Yeah,
they will know.
yeah.
They
It's
will know.
difficult. It's hard.
Yeah, it's hard.
But I wouldn't want it any other way, personally.
No,
Uh,
this is the best life, bro.
it's
We're
a
very blessed.
it's more of a gift than a curse at
Yeah,
all, if anything. Yeah,
if you know how to use it, of course.
yeah,
This,
of course.
this is why I always say, bro. Like somebody who's ahead of you just has endured more pain than you.
100%.
That's it. That's how I
100%.
see it.
That's what it is.
So I want to ask you the last question, bro. What is the you would say the number one most important lesson you have learned yourself in life? Right, of course, you talk legacy is important, family is important, but what is like for you the number one thing you have learned in life after a lot of fuck ups you've also had in life, right? And now you, as far as I see, you've kind of figured it out,
Yeah.
that you can bring back here, like to the people.
I think the number one thing I advise anybody who asks me this question, and that I've learned, I wouldn't say the hard way because I don't really do wrong things in my life, but the number one thing you want to do is move with a pure heart. I
Yeah,
think when you do things genuinely with a pure heart and pure intentions, God will reward you. The universe, whatever you believe in, it will reward you. I've seen this times and times again, time and time again. I've seen this unfold with people that I've met in my life. The wrongdoers, the people that don't have a pure heart, always end up paying the price at one point or another. And I'm talking about the smallest things, man. The small, like just getting someone coffee, like being hospitable, like the smallest thing, not scamming. I'm talking about like the very when you're not selfish and you move with a pure heart and you have no bad intentions in your life and in your, you know, within you, God will bless you. And I give this example. I tell my one of my business partners who's very young, and I'm like, God loves you, and God, put this opportunity in your path because you have a good heart, and that is meeting someone like me. Not to, this is, I say this humbly, and meeting someone like me who, you know, fast tracked your way to success. Like when I was your age, I had to go through the ringer in order to figure all this out on my own and build. That cost me a lot of time and money. Now God just put you in this because of this butterfly effect, because you saw someone post me on an interview and you clicked and you joined this. So you know what I mean? Like God makes these things happen in order to lead you down a path that is earned by your pure heart, right? And now you become a millionaire at the age of 24, and I led you there, right? And happily, I'm glad I was able to help with that. So, and they put in the work. Obviously, that partner works so hard, and it's very earned. But put yourself in the position where you never crossed paths with someone like that. You'd be still grinding, probably working a 9 to 5, and that all stems from being a pure person, having a pure heart. God just makes life easy, man. And
yeah,
even if you go through trials and tribulations, know that they're tests, and they're just, the light is very, very near.
hmm,
So my advice is always move with a pure heart. It will come back tenfolds.
beautiful, bro. Really
Yeah.
beautiful. You know what's funny? This is a similar answer I always tell people also when they ask me this question.
Yeah.
That's crazy, bro. Shout out to you, bro.
Thank you,
Amazing, man.
man. You
Yeah,
too.
crazy,
You too.
crazy. Yeah, man, guys. So, this was it actually, for Jad. And for those who want to as well get in touch with my man Jad, where can he find you, bro?
Twitter right now.
Yes, yeah, man. I will
Yeah,
also put
Twitter.
his link in the
Yeah.
description if you want to connect with Jad. And guys, as I said, man, if you want to reach out to him, if you want to scale up your brand or whatever, you want to talk with him also, he's been running insane shit here. So yeah, man, just reach out to him on X and tell him you came through me. Say something nice about me and
Yes,
speak
sir.
to him. And when you guys work together, you can buy me a coffee one day.
Yes,
But
sir.
yeah, man, this guy's really running up the numbers. So if you're gonna do it with somebody also in terms of like high level branding, talk with Jad, guys.
Thank you. I
Something you
appreciate
wanna
it,
say
bro.
at last, bro?
Nah, man, it was a pleasure to be here. Our friendship has become such a great thing, and I look forward to building more together with you guys and
Mhm.
doing this all over again as we build and grow and learn and share this experience with people.
Mhm.
And yeah, man, I look forward to connecting with everybody. You can hit me up on Instagram too soon, and just look up my name. And yeah, man, looking forward to doing this again and running it up again. And I hope everybody enjoyed and found this useful one
Should
way
we
or
do a
another.
part two, bro? Maybe.
I still have so many
Yeah,
questions.
Me
yeah,
too.
It's
we'll have
insane.
to. We'll
But
have
Yeah.
to.
like
I'm
not
ready.
about life, huh?
Yeah,
Business that's
yeah.
gonna grow. So I
Absolutely, man.
think a part two
Yeah.
could be a
Yeah,
very
I'd
good
love
one.
to do a lot
Yeah.
more value based. Like I said, I'm an open book, man. I'm always more than happy. You asked me in the beginning, hey, any questions you want me to avoid, and I told you, open book, bro. You can ask me whatever you want. I'm happy to help,
Mhm.
and I appreciate you doing that out of respect, because sometimes people are like, they have
Yeah, of
personal,
course.
private things they don't want to share. I'm happy to help in any way I can, and provide value, as much value as I can. So
Guys, if you want a part two, type it in the comments.
yeah,
No trenches, no glory, and we will do a part two with Jack.
so I like
No,
that.
no trenches, no glory.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, guys, thank you very much. Of course, subscribe to the channel. Only thing that I ask for, and we'd like to do this type of shit, bring a real value with real people, real shit only, bro. See you. Ciao.
Yes, sir. Later, boys.